Welcome back to it. This is Soul Knowledge, the home of the sneaker story and the home of sports culture insights. I'm your host, Bernie Wickham, and I am a sneaker evangelist. I'd like to start off today by sharing a story with you which took place a couple of weeks ago as I walked through retail, as you do, having a look at which sneakers are available in which stores and getting a sense of just what's going on. It's like watching a news report. And as I'm in one of the stores speaking to one of the sales staff, I look at the wall, at the sneaker wall, and I see a pair of sneakers that I believe should not have been there 3 days after its launch. And the sneaker that I'm referring to is this one over here, Nike's Air Safari. So 3 days after launch, I still see it on the sales floor, and I'm like, what is it actually still doing here? Immediately, without any hesitation, I bought a pair. So lucky for me, I'm in it. But knowing the retailer that I bought it from, I know for a fact that Nike brought limited units into country, and if a shoe was brought in at such limited units 3 days after release, it's still on the shelf. I can guarantee you cats have slept on this pair of sneakers. So I believe that tonight's story should be going around the Air Safari, the importance of it, and why it's a damn shame you didn't get a pair. This is it. Let's get into it. So as always, please like, follow, and subscribe to Soul Knowledge. And remember that at the end of every single episode, I leave an Easter egg for you, which is 1 second with one sneaker. I hope you guys got it in last week's episode, but for those of you that are still new to the series, it is a zoomed in version of a pair of sneakers, zoomed in for just 1 second, and let's see if you are able to identify which pair of sneakers I've got there. So right at the end for 1 second, let's see how good those eyes are. Let's see if you're a sneaker don after all. So you say to me, Bernie, what's the big deal with the Air Safari? And I'll say to you this. Through Nike's design across many decades, there are some years that stand out above others when it comes to design, when it comes to product innovation, when it comes to just being absolute beacons of excellence. And one of those years in particular is the year 1987, because the Air Max 1 did come out in the year 1987, and the Air Max 1 is the first shoe to contain visible air technology. It is also the same year of the Air Trainer 1, the first cross trainer the world has ever seen. It is also the same year of the Air Safari. So imagine all of this product being put out in 1 year, among other products, by one single designer. And this is Tinker Hatfield, the man responsible for just being the absolute brains behind design. For those of you that have not heard of the Tinker Hatfield name before, this is an appropriate and safe place to learn, because this is soul knowledge after all. But for the rest of you who do know Tinker, you know that he has gone on to design some of the most tremendous sneakers, and also the year 87 set him up for a cameo for design in the Back to the Future movie where he designed the Air Mag. So the guy's got proper credentials. One day, in walking through New York, he goes to a furniture store where he sees a couch made out of ostrich leather. And when he looks at this couch, he's like, oh my word, this couch just represents such opulence. This couch represents premium. This couch just represents everything that you want to own. And he looks at it and he thinks, wouldn't it be amazing if there were this type of embellishment that existed in a running shoe? So Tinker takes those ideas and then creates the Air Safari. He has a look at the outsole of a traditional running shoe and says, don't make any changes to it. Keep them exactly as it is, because the traction is still appropriate for his idea. He looks at the midsole of a traditional run and he says, well, keep it exactly the same. This is a compression molded EVA midsole with Nike Air for cushioning. For those of you that do not understand too much about midsoles at this stage, do not worry, we've got a special episode that covers that one very well. But you will notice in the upper is where all of the magic happens with the Air Safari. The first and most noticeable feature of this sneaker is in actual fact this print over here. This has been now referred to as the Safari print. This is actually Tinker's interpretation, or rather the reinterpretation, of a ostrich leather application, which he then tries to come up with something new and fresh as a print. The Safari print is all the way through the upper, and it has been given leather treatment. Also, another striking feature is the fact that he's actually gone with a color orange over here, and this orange on the upper is also leather, which is traditionally where you will find mesh on a running shoe. So leather, much heavier, but also speaking to that opulence. Even on the inside over here, this is the sock liner. The sock liner, traditionally also where mesh is at, has now been replaced with leather. And finally, if you have a look at the swoosh, it's quite interesting because it's not a very bold swoosh. It's black on black. I believe just drawing back its positioning from what the rest of the shoes, bold colors and the safari print to kind of balance out the sneaker in a very subtle way. So let me conclude by showing you a couple of examples of other sneakers that have received the Air Safaris treatment. The first one up is the Air Trainer 1 Mid Premium, and it's quite easy to see how the Safari inspiration has come through over here. In the Air Force 1 Low Supreme, this is a beautiful take on the product as well. And as a bit of a surprise, this is the Air Max 95 OG Premium. And you will notice that if you look at the bottom level over here, this is actually Safari print that has actually come through over here too in the original colorway. So I want you to have a look at your own private collection and just see if anything that you have has the Safari inspiration coming through on it. I've got a few more in my collection, but I actually want to leave room for you guys to show off what you've got. Send me pictures, add in your comments, let me see them on your feet if you've already owned any of these as well, and let me see what you got. Show me how you were coming through, and if you were one of the guys that actually managed to get the true Air Safari at launch, good for you. Show me a couple of sneakers on your feet. Don't forget to like, follow and subscribe at Soul Knowledge. And at the end of every single episode, I have one sneaker in 1 second for you to look at and identify. Let's see if those eyes are still good.